seeing about the different types of memory like cache memory and virtual memory. So on completing this particular video, you will be able to understand what is cache memory, what is virtual memory, and what are the uses of cache as well as virtual, and what is the difference between cache memory and virtual memory. So now let's see one by one. So first thing is cache memory. So cache memory is nothing but it is a very special high speed memory. So sometimes when we are browsing something in our phone, we can see that there will be a notification called as accept terms, conditions, or like accept caches and cookies. So what is that is, if we click that, the data that is the database that is being served at that present time will be getting stored into that memory, and we will be getting similar databases that is being stored at that time. Example, if we are surfing about an watch and if we are accepting caches and cookies, automatically we will be getting more number of ads related to the product watch. That is called as cache memory. So it has many advantages. Let me explain you the different types of cache memory along with an example and its advantages as well. So you can see that when fetching a data, there is a clear difference mentioned in the PPT, that is with cache and without cache. So with cache, you can see that the CPU is directly connected to cache and then to main memory. So in this case, when we search for a data, or when we are looking for a data and we are giving it to search, so it will be checking whether the particular data is present or stored within that cache memory. So if it is present within the cache memory, then the output to the client will be given immediately. Or in this case, if there is no cache present, that is the data is not present in the cache memory, it has to go and search in the main memory and then fetch or collect the data and give it to the client side. So that is the difference. So the time, the duration, the process that is being taken by the client and server side is very much less in cache memory, whereas in case of main memory it is somewhat large. So this is the example: CPU, cache memory as well as memory, that is main memory. This is the architecture or flow, how it is present. So now let's see the type of cache memory. So first one is set associative cache. So set associative caching is nothing but it will be mapping both the address as well as the data memory where it is being stored. So that is, it is a very flexible one as well as the fastest method. So this particular associative mapped cache can also be said as fully associative cache. You can see that cache memory as well as main memory, it is given in the slot as well as the block. So slot is matched directly to the blocks, that is called as fully associative cache. Next one is direct map cache. So from the name itself we can understand that direct mapping is taking place. So direct mapping is a procedure that is used to assign each memory block into the main memory to a particular line in the cache. So as you can see, the slot is being mapped to the cache block directly. Cache memory is being mapped to the main memory. So each of the blocks can have up to 32 words per block. Okay, so that is the length of each block. Next one is set associative mapped cache. So set associative mapped cache is nothing but it will be allowing each word that is present in the cache to have 2 or more words in the main memory of the same index address. So this particular thing is called as set associative mapped cache memory. Next thing is virtual memory. So what is virtual memory? So virtual memory is nothing but it is mainly used for optimizing the memory, that is by transferring the data between various storage systems like RAM or disk storage. So you can see in the diagram we will be having a compiled program main routine, and below that we will be having different subroutines, and then physical memory which will be having the smaller program. Smaller program is nothing but if you are taking a program of larger size, it will be taking some more times to compile and run throughout it. So in physical memory, if there is a program smaller in size than the program in the main routine, then we can save this particular program in the physical memory. So this is the partitioning. Main is being partitioned into A, B and C. So virtual memory is further divided into 4 classification like paging, segmentation, protection and fragmentation. So first thing is paging. So paging is nothing but here we will be matching the virtual memory and the physical memory. So virtual memory we will be having different types of pages ranging from 0 to 7, and each of this page will be having a virtual address of 1023, and these address will be mapped to the physical memory, that is page frame 0 to 3, and these physical address will be in the range of 1023. So this is the address value. So we will be having page table as well. We can go for mapping the page values present to the page frames. Next one is segmentation. Segmentation is nothing but we will be taking a particular register and we will be segmenting that to which segment I have to go for using for execution, and which part I have to use for read or write by user 1, and then which part I have to go for the read or write process by the user 0. Similarly, it can go for also using like data space user 0, data space user 1. So this particular segmentation, it allows the users to share the same word processor code along with the different spaces. So next thing is protection. So when we open a file, we can see that this particular file is being protected, or this file cannot be downloaded, or it cannot be that is we cannot write on it, we can just read on it. So that particular case is called as prevent changes. Next thing is execute only. So execute only in the sense we cannot copy from that particular data, that is prevent unauthorized copying. Also it protects from trying to write data into the action area. Okay, so next thing is fragmentation. Fragmentation is nothing but it has 3 different stages. So first thing is initialization, and second one is fragmentation, and third one is coalescing. So first thing, initialization is nothing but we will be having OS, some free areas, and then dead zone, and then input output space. Okay, so now we are going to fragment this particular area into fragments. So how we are going to fragment is that we will be fragmenting in like program, and then free areas, and then dead zone, as well as input output space. Okay, so what is coalescing is nothing but if we are having 2 smaller free areas like free areas 1 and 2, we can combine that into one single free area, such that we can go for storing more data into that particular area. So that is that particular process is called as coalescing. So now it's your turn, students. So let me ask you a quiz question based on virtual as well as cache memory. So what is the high speed memory between the main memory and the CPU called? I hope you will be able to answer the same. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this will be a useful session for you. Thank you.